anything since. They haven't followed up on anything. The only thing that came out was that Kairi Sane gets a shot at the NXT Women's Championship at the next TakeOver show in November.
Right.
They don't know who her opponent or opponents are going to be yet, now that Asuka's vacated that title. So it was a little strange, I guess, to put that much effort into Baszler to get her to the finals and then not really do anything with her after that, because as of now, my understanding is she's not under contract to them. So
they signed Toni Storm, though, right? Isn't she?
I read a list of the wrestlers the other day who are under contract. I don't remember. I feel like Toni Storm is one of them. I'm not 100% sure about that. There was a list of several women in the tournament that are already under contract, and then there's some, obviously, that are not. I don't know. I don't remember. I know, obviously, Kairi Sane is. She was a big signing for them. Originally the plan was to have them go very far with a push for her. It seems like that's kind of back on, at least right now, having her win this tournament and then put her in a title match for the NXT Women's Championship right away. So we'll see. As far as the match itself goes, I thought it was pretty solid for what it was. It's in a tough spot, being filmed right after SmackDown ended. They just did that major angle with Vince and Kevin Owens.
Yeah,
and the next thing they went to was the Mae Young Classic match. So
sucking the weight out of the place. Right?
It was a tough spot to be in, but I thought they had a pretty solid match. The crowd was into it as it went along and got towards the end, which is a good sign for both of these women. And I thought Kairi Sane winning was the right decision. I thought she was one of the best performers in the tournament. Obviously, her finish is very over. Her crowd seems very into her.
She got a different gimmick, too. It's not some... I mean, what was the last pirate gimmick you've seen?
Yeah, you don't see a lot of ship wheels on the ring. So, there's that.
Like the shiver there? Never mind.
So, I don't know. I guess that was my thoughts on the match itself. I don't know how you thought it came off on time.
I thought it was Shayna's best match that she's had, period. I'm sure a lot of the credit can go to Kairi Sane. There was still some just awkward spots, right? Like her finish. Like, not her finish, but her... when she goes for the spear, there was a couple of miscommunications. And at least I will say Shayna's striking looked a lot better. And her selling, while still out of the zip code of good, it was definitely better than it was throughout the tournament. But, it just doesn't make sense putting her all the way to the finals. I mean, you even could have put Piper Niven in there. Piper she's so over. Toni Storm is huge over. Candice LeRae is huge over. There were a lot of people that I think would have had a better finals match with Kairi Sane than Shayna. But I mean, I don't know if I think Shayna's officially done with MMA. So if wrestling is going to be her main focus, I don't know why you wouldn't sign with NXT. I think it's the next logical step for her.
Yeah, I mean, if they're interested, which I would guess that they are, if they had her go this far in the tournament, then I don't see why she wouldn't sign there. I mean, what else is she going to do? I mean, they work indies for a while, which I'm sure
she's working AIW a lot. She works in
so I mean, if
Shimmer.
she gets an opportunity, I would think she would take it, especially if it leads to, Roderick Strong's wife obviously is part of that group, so she has a loose affiliation with it. And I'm sure endgame for them, for WWE as a whole, is to try to get Rousey in to do something. Whether that's how far along that is, I don't know. But if
I hope it's miles away. Sorry.
There's a lot of hatred, I feel like, that you have towards Ronda, and you need to. I mean, you met her. You said she was very nice. Yeah,
and that's the problem. It's not hatred. It's just that I don't foresee. I understand the whole. It's like the whole McGregor to boxing thing. It's a show, but I'm worried at what they would do with her and what they would have her, talk and say, and I don't think it would be good. I think you have a very good core of women in both Raw and SmackDown and coming up in NXT that should be the focus. Even Shayna Baszler, she's like, I mean, you can see she's improved from the beginning of the tournament to now, so hopefully, she continues to get better. But I just feel like, you kind of got to focus on what you got. Don't put all the eggs in the Ronda Rousey basket.
But what if, let's assume, if we assume that the two brands as they are now are not going to change, right? There won't be any women's changing shows, right? Obviously, Asuka's going to come up and be on Raw soon. Let's say the SmackDown Women's Championship match at WrestleMania is, I don't know, Natalya, Naomi, Becky Lynch, and Carmella in a 4-way. If Charlotte's not doing anything, let's say you'll say you can have those 4 women in a match, and then you take Charlotte out and you put her and you get Rousey on, and you do something with her and Rousey as a separate attraction at WrestleMania.
Okay.
Do you have anything against that idea?
If Rousey wins, yes.
Well, I mean, forgetting about the wins and losses for like the sake of a card, right? And trying to getting Rousey in
buy rates and that kind of thing,
right?
Like,
you still have your SmackDown Women's title match. It's not like Rousey's in a title match or anything like that. You have a couple of women that probably could pull off a match with her if they decided to go that route. Charlotte maybe, or Becky, or somebody like that, if I'm looking at the SmackDown side of things.
Okay.
So would you have an issue with that if like there were 3 women's matches on WrestleMania next year? A Raw Women's title match, a SmackDown Women's title match, and then a match between Charlotte and Ronda Rousey? Featuring the women a lot, right? Still have all your main roster women. If like Asuka against somebody on Raw, it's going to be those. Maybe a 4-way on SmackDown, and then Charlotte against Rousey.
Would I have an issue with it? Is that the question?
Yeah, I mean, because you said that you wanted to focus on what they had, right? So I'm taking that out of the equation in the sense that I'm booking the show, and I've got 2 women's matches already, and then as a special attraction, I'm also putting Charlotte in a prominent role against a major celebrity or a big time known person in the MMA world as Ronda Rousey in her first match at WrestleMania. That's 3 women's matches on the show, which I think is probably, I can't remember that's ever happened before at a WrestleMania. So would that be something that would be good for the company as a whole?
No, I'm just kidding. In that scenario,
I put a lot of thought into that. Just saying,
I did. It was like in Billy Madison. It was like, no, in that scenario, I think it's okay. I think that you're still getting the women over, getting them again, but if it's gonna be like WrestleMania this year, WrestleMania is such a crapshoot too because you have such little time. Some matches go 2 minutes, some matches go like 5 minutes and stuff like that. But as long as you're getting the women over, you're giving the women that are there consistently a chance to shine and get their stuff and work their match, then I'm okay with it. But me personally, I don't like Ronda Rousey. I don't like the way that she carried herself. I don't like the things that she did. I don't like the things that she tried to be somebody that she wasn't, and it was very fake to me, and it come across very fake. So if she comes across very fake in mixed martial arts, which is the shoot world, I can only imagine how rough it's going to come across in the pro wrestling world. So,
what is the fakeness come from? What is that? That she's nice in real life and like an actor?
It bothers me her whole shtick is phony. Like the mean mug that she has is phony. She's she's a super duper badass tough chick, won't shake hands and stuff like that when she wins, and then she goes out there and she gets slept and she gets knocked out and she's like a different person. So that people don't, you don't portray yourself in a good light. You don't have respect for the sport. It's like karma. It's going to come back and bite you, and it did with her. And I think her stock took a big hit because she used to be this unbeatable person who could have been like this. But she got knocked out violently twice back to back. So now she's going to kind of got that stigma where it's like her last fight was against what's her name? She just fought last weekend, and it was a minute and 19 seconds, and she was knocked out. I mean, so I don't know. I just don't care for the way she carries herself, and I don't watch Ronda Rousey fights. I don't go out of my way to see it, so I'm definitely not going to go out of my way to see it at WrestleMania. That being said, if she's going to bring in a whole new audience to the show, that'll be great for business. Then I'm sure, but it's just not something that I'm personally interested in. Like how you're not a Kenny Omega guy, and you said you wouldn't watch or you wouldn't go to a Ring of Honor pay-per-view that had Kenny Omega there.
That's true. Because
of your dislike for the best wrestler on the planet right now, I would also not go to a wrestling show that has Ronda Rousey on it. So I threw that in there. No.
Yeah,
but no, I think
it's a very different thing. But I don't know. I think.
Well, at least, but I understand. It's a little bit of a different thing. But to me, at least, Kenny Omega is a professional wrestler. Where Ronda Rousey is going to be the big draw. And why? Why should she?
Well, it's not the thing. It's just she's not going to be the big. It's just a celebrity. They've done how much stuff with celebrities in the past. And most of it's been hot garbage, right? That's a lot of what they do. At least, with her. I'm sure it wouldn't be where they're going to go out and work 20 minutes and do all this stuff. They probably do a few angles on SmackDown, right? She'd show up to a few shows. They do a couple of promos, right? They'd film those backstage, interviews like they do with Brock, right, to get everybody hyped up for the event.
Yeah. And
then they go out and they have their match, and people are going to want to go and see it. And people from MMA might be interested in it, or people that were fans of Rousey's.
But she's so bad on the mic is my problem. Have you ever listened to her give an interview?
I mean, I've seen her give a couple of interviews here and there, but I mean, I'm sure if scripted or they give her something to do, she's not going to be much worse than like Tamina or somebody else that's on the roster already. I mean, Naomi's horrible too. I mean, she was the champion for God knows how long. So like, there's a lot of people that that they could just have. I'm sure they could script out a segment for Rousey. They did her in the WrestleMania segment 2 years ago or whatever it was with Rock. And she was very limited.
I threw up while I was watching that.
Great, tremendous television.
Because Stephanie got on board.
Yeah, 100%. And Rousey's hot. Let's just admit it.
What?
Yeah, 100%.
You think Rousey's hot?
Yeah, she is.
No, dude, she's really?
Yeah.
That's shocking to me.
Really?
Yeah.
The guy who likes Ruby Riott is telling me that
hold on.
Ronda Rousey is not attractive.
Okay, well, first of all, there's nothing wrong with Ruby Riott. I don't know why you need to bring that in there. But Ronda Rousey, that's surprising. I'm just a little surprised. That's all. I'm not saying you're right or wrong. I'm just surprised that you find Ronda hot. I think there's probably 30 women in WWE alone that are more attractive than Ronda Rousey. I can list them all right now.
I can't. No. You gotta get past the stigma, bro.
What stigma?
You gotta get past it. The personal hatred.
You gotta get past Kenny Omega's.
That's not a personal hatred for him as a human.
I know. I don't hate Ronda as a human. I hate the belief. Oh, it's like the CM Punk promo. I don't hate you, Ronda. I hate this belief that you're the best. I don't like the way that she is. I don't like the way she was in the show, but I think she would be terrible in front of a camera. She can't cut a promo being herself. She can cut a promo being herself when she's trying to be a badass. I can't imagine how bad it's going to be trying to cut a promo that somebody wrote out for you.
Well, hasn't she done acting, though? In, like, movies and stuff like that?
I don't know.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure she's been in, like, a couple of movies, right? Wasn't she in the Entourage movie and, like, a couple of different things?
So was Great Khali.
Okay, so the point is, Ronda was in movies, acting, reading off a script. So same thing here, right? She's done that before. They're going to give her a script to read as a promo, and she'll go out and cut it if they, for however long they want her to do it, and she'll probably do the same as she did in a movie.
Right, but the only problem is you can reshoot it 25 times. Now she's going to have to go out in front of a live crowd.
Maybe she doesn't have to go out in front of a live crowd. They did when Brock comes out, right? He very rarely speaks in front of the crowd. Like, even if he does, it's usually
now that's a great role for her. If you gave Ronda Rousey could be a Paul Heyman girl.
Sure.
That, to me, that's a great... I'd be behind that.
Yeah.
That'd be something. She could put her little sourpuss, pout in the corner. She could just sit there, and Paul could talk for her, and then she could do her business in the ring. Good booking. I'm all for that.
That's fine.
See, look at that. I'm willing to overcome my personal gripe to see... I'm really growing up as a human. I'm growing up, and I want you to get past the Kenny Omega thing.
The Kenny Omega thing is more of a war against the marks and the people that are overrating him as being like one of the greatest performers of all time. When the guy's been like in a main event picture for like a year in Japan.
Okay.
You know?
So why do you... So what?
It's taken me longer to drink a cup of coffee than it has for him to be in the main event.
You do drink coffee very slow. I won't give you that much. But why would you... Why would you not go to a show where he's main eventing if you have a problem with the marks?
Because I'm going to have to be surrounded by all the marks who are going to be cheering him and talking about how great he is.
The same thing happens to the Young Bucks every single show. Every single person's in a Bullet Club and Young Bucks shirt.
No, see, people like the Young Bucks and they're fans of the Young Bucks, but they're not out there proclaiming that the Young Bucks are the greatest tag team in the history of the business and like all this type of stuff. Because
I don't know, man. I had to sit next to a guy who went Naito mask, okay? And I had to listen to how great Naito was.
Okay. But that's the thing is, Omega in such a short period of time, everyone's just overdoing it with the praise and for whatever the reasons are about thinking he's putting on these like all-time classic matches and stuff like that. Like those matches with Okada were very good, but they're not anything like that I would say I'm like, oh man, everyone's got to see this. Go back and watch it 100 times. It'll be great. Like I watched him once and I have no intention of watching him again because there's no need. And I just don't see how everybody sees how great he is, but yet everyone I have to constantly hear it 24/7 from, all these people and fans and internets and all this type of stuff that how great he is. And like, he's not. Like, sorry, he's just not. So, like, ouch. I'm not going to sit and pay $100-something to sit and watch this guy perform. I'd rather sit at home and not watch him or watch him on my TV in peace, as opposed to having to be around a bunch of people that are going to tell me how great he is when he's not. So,
Well, okay, hold on. You can't say when he's not because that's up to person. You know that's
right.
personal
I think
thing.
he's not, so I don't think he is. So I mean that's my. So it's very annoying, to have to deal with all that stuff. So no, I don't have any interest in going to a show with Kenny Omega on the card and dealing with all the marks and everybody who's overrating him out there.
You are alienating our entire fan base.
That's fine. They can come at me. They can talk to me wherever they want. They can find us on the Twitter. You brought that up.